All right, let's just jump right in because what we're talking about today is easily one of the most ambitious, most mind-boggling construction programs ever dreamed up. Seriously, it's a project so big it's hard to wrap your head around. This is NEOM, and we're going to try and figure out how you even begin to tame a dream this massive. First things first, you got to understand the scale we're dealing with. The estimated price tag for NEOM? Over $1 trillion. Let that sink in. That's more than the entire yearly economic output of most countries on Earth. We're not just talking about funding a project here. We're talking about bankrolling a whole new reality, right out of the desert sand. And that right there is the big question, isn't it? When your project is literally bigger and more expensive than entire nations, with this level of ambition, how on earth do you keep it from just collapsing under its own weight? How do you actually control a trillion-dollar dream? To get a handle on the how, you really have to understand the what first. See, NEOM isn't just some crazy, extravagant idea. It's the absolute centerpiece of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030, a massive national game plan to completely rewire the country's economy and move beyond its dependency on oil. So this is key. NEOM is not one city. It's an entire region. A blank slate bigger than a country like Israel that's being developed completely from scratch. I mean, we're talking about transforming 26,500 square kilometers of raw desert, mountains, and coastline into a vision of the future. And this region? It's basically a portfolio of the wildest mega projects you can imagine. You've got The Line, this 170-kilometer-long mirrored skyscraper city with absolutely no cars. Then there's Oxagon, a city that literally floats on the Red Sea. Up in the mountains, they're building Trojena, a futuristic ski resort, yes, in the desert. And out on the water, Sindala, a super luxury island destination. Any one of these on its own would be a history-making project. NEOM is doing them all at once. Okay, so the scale is it's bananas. Which brings us back to that question. How do you possibly manage all of this? The answer can't just be throwing more money or people at it. You need a rock-solid, structured system. A blueprint for control, designed to manage the chaos, even when the chaos is this big. And one of the most famous blueprints for this kind of thing is called Prince 2. Now, I know, the name sounds kind of dry, but don't let that fool you. Think of it less like a textbook and more like an operating system for gigantic, complex projects. It's a method built to bring order to chaos by focusing on clear goals, roles, and results. So to make sense of NEOM's ambition, we're going to look at it through the lens of Prince 2. So Prince 2 basically runs on a few common sense ideas. For what we're talking about, 3 are absolutely key. First, you have to have a really good reason to keep going, the business justification. Second, you manage it in stages. You break the impossible task into manageable chunks. And third, you focus on products, which just means you measure success by what you've actually built, not just how busy you are. These are like the guardrails for a project that could so easily fly right off the tracks. So let's put this framework to the test, right? How do these principles of control actually stack up against the wild reality of NEOM? This is where the blueprint hits the sand. Okay, let's take that first rule. A project has to be worth doing every step of the way. Well, for NEOM, the business justification is about as big as it gets. This isn't just about building a cool city. This is the engine for the entire Vision 2030 plan. It's supposed to secure the whole country's economic future. So yeah, the business case for the project is the future of the nation. Talk about high stakes. Next up, manage by stages. You know, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. You can't just build a trillion-dollar regional at once. You have to break it down. And that's exactly the structure NEOM has. The Line, Oxagon, Trojena, these aren't just random projects. They are enormous, self-contained stages, each with its own goals and timelines. It's the only sane way to approach something this huge. And finally, that focus on products. Prince 2 is all about this idea that being busy doesn't equal success. Delivering the thing you promised, that's success. For NEOM, the products are crystal clear and absolutely breathtaking. A fully working zero-carbon city, a cutting-edge floating port. Success isn't a report, it's a reality. And believe me, the whole world is watching to see if they can deliver. But, of course, here's the thing. No plan, no matter how brilliant, survives first contact with reality, right? And when it comes to NEOM, the risks are every bit as monumental as the vision itself. This is where the theory gets a serious dose of harsh reality. And the risks are everywhere.
You've got the brutal environment, scorching heat, crazy sandstorms. You have the insane financial risk, where a tiny cost overrun could mean billions of dollars down the drain. And then there's the tech risk. I mean, the whole thing relies on citywide AI and self-driving transport that, frankly, doesn't even exist at this scale yet. Any one of these could sink a normal project. For NEOM, they're all happening at the same time.
This is why having a system is so critical. A framework like Prince2 doesn't magically make the risks disappear, but it forces you to look them right in the eye. You have to identify the specific problem, like the extreme climate. You have to assess its potential damage, like the high chance of costs spiraling out of control. And then you have to plan for it. It's all about turning those scary, unknown monsters in the dark into known problems you can actually solve.
So, when you take a step back and look at the whole picture, what are we really seeing? Well, NEOM has become more than just a massive construction project. It's turned into the ultimate real-world laboratory for project management, for urban planning, for engineering, all being pushed to the absolute limits of what we can do.
And this is why they're taking such a colossal risk. The potential reward isn't just one thing. It's a whole cascade of benefits. By shooting for economic diversification, you get massive job creation. By becoming a hub for new technology, you invent whole new tourism markets. By building infrastructure, you boost the entire region. Each success is supposed to feed the next, which is how they hope this giant bet pays off.
And honestly, the importance of NEOM goes way beyond Saudi Arabia's borders. It's a live, real-time experiment in building the cities of tomorrow. Can we actually build compact, zero-emission cities that are completely woven together with technology? The lessons learned here, both the successes and the failures, are going to be in textbooks for the next 100 years.
You know, this quote just nails it. It really does. Because no matter what happens in the end, whether it all works or not, this project has already changed the conversation about what's even possible in engineering and city building. It is a defining moment. Which leaves us with the one final trillion-dollar question. Is what we're watching unfold in the desert a genuine blueprint for our future? A new way of living? Or is it a modern Tower of Babel? A vision so breathtakingly huge, so complex, that it's simply beyond our power to control? I guess for now, only time will tell.